my name is Carissa Hollo. I live right in Cambridge, New York. And my cat is basically like a snowboarding design, because I was thinking, with the Bennington, Vermont theme, what's something I could do that wasn't foliage or, farm town. It was a little bit different. So I thought, all the great ski mountains are in Vermont. So, on one side there's a snowboarder, it's doing, a grab, and on the other side, a really similar move. So I thought it would be a lot of fun to do something that was really snow related. I like art. I do a lot of art just in my spare time, usually very casually. I'll do something for my friends, do a painting for them, something like that. For work, I work right in a little store in town that supports an opera house, and I do a volunteer preaching work actually for most of the time. So I do little things on the side to support myself, a little bit different, but it works really well. Actually, the design of it took a half an hour. It was really fast to come up with everything that I needed to do. The long part was actually I painted it all black and then I sketched it out, and that took most of the time, sketching it, but then I painted over it. It only took a couple hours to paint. So it was just basically, getting the design I had to fit along the shape of it was the tricky part, so that took most of the time. Yeah, actually when they delivered it, it was just right outside and they were wondering where to put it, and I said, oh, I don't know. So I decided, instead of putting it up in the garage where I have a big space to work in, I said, hey, why not just leave it out, because we had beautiful weather to work in, and there was one day of rain and we put up walls around here. So, every day of work painting it, it was gorgeous outside, so it worked out really well. And I love being outdoors, I love sports, and snowboarding is my favorite activity. So, it was really natural just to do something really fun that was, and it fit right in with Vermont too, so it just seemed perfect, I came up with it right away. Oh, well, I just actually painted out the outline first, and it's like an outdoor, really weather-resistant oil-based paint, and so I just painted it on, and then I was just kind of fiddling around, testing the brush, and it's basically just a dry brush technique that lightly went over it, and I used different amounts of paint on the brush, and I just kind of went with it, and it kind of worked out. Well, actually, I was thinking about that initially, but I had no clue what I was going to do like the snow. It's supposed to be snow, and first I was doing it dot by dot with a little stick, and then I realized that was going to be really tedious, so I ended up taking like a small wooden stick. It's actually like a barbecue skewer stick, and I took the end of it and dipped it in a slight amount of paint, and I just kept tapping it, and it worked out pretty fast. It took like half an hour to do all the snow on the entire thing. So, well, here on the front, it's what's called a jib. So when you just press your board up against something, so he's got his board up against, it's actually a tree stump. So he's just pressing up against it, and you don't see, there's not enough room for the entire thing, but he would go off a ramp and then lean up against the tree. Well, the design I had, I wanted them to be doing a certain move, so it was snowboarding, but I love the terrain park, so it was something that really kind of like represented me. So I wanted it to be some kind of like trick. But then the rest kind of filled in. Like this side has trees and it's just the rest of the trail, and this side is more focused on, just, the board itself. And then I guess I said, oh, might as well just do some snow. It's kind of haphazard, but it worked out. WBTN. Yep, they actually had a contest on the online and on the radio, so people could name it, and I got to pick the winner of it. So somebody else got some free stuff out of it too. I don't think I've ever done anything this big. Yeah, because usually, like I said, I'm very casual. I don't do it for work, so it's just for my friends, and usually no one wants something this big in their house. So yeah, this first thing this scale, I think I've ever done. Nope, I had no issues whatsoever. It was good paint, and I had no problems. It kept the consistency was really good when it coated. I put the first coat of black on, and it adhered really nicely, and there wasn't a lot of brush strokes. And I lightly sanded it, did the second coat. Every step of the way, it was just great. I had no issues, so it was really good. It is oil-based, even though there's like an acrylic primer. It has no problems chipping. It's actually made for farming equipment. It's really durable. It doesn't rust whatsoever. it can get rained on, poured on. It'll be fine in any kind of weather. I think the paint color even comes in like John Deere gray, so it is good, and it bonded really well. So I'm happy with how it all turned out.